Leilu Nishmas Welcome to all the choshev guests. We have a lot of choshev guests today. Sitting right next to me is Akiva Ziegler, right? Akiva? Wow, I got it. Always, I'm going to ask you guys, and we have Rav Nachman. Shalom Aleichem. How are you? Where are you from? Listen,
you don't know where I'm from.
Today, because Akiva's here, we have to a little up at one. You know what else we have? Eli, get over here, Eli. Get over here. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Eli what? From? Flatbush. He's the famous. You know about this guy. He brought Moshe in. You're good friend Moshe because of him. Without him, there wouldn't be anybody. Who else did you bring in? 2 kids from your class. Amazing. Shkoyach for coming. What are you doing here? Oh, the whole mishpacha is here. What's your name? Yamin. And your name? No way. Get over here. Let's see. Yeah, he is. Whoa. How tall are you? 6'4". 6'4". Not bad. He is. Wow. Okay. Wow. Do you at least play basketball? Of course. Are you able to dunk? Yeah, for real? Easy. It's never easy for me. Never. Okay. Wow. Okay. And who else do we have there? Calvin. The ganze Mishpacha. Oh, came for the Bar Mitzvah. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Enough get over here. What? All right, Calvin, you do the daf or noch nicht? Your brother Eli didn't get you yet? We'll see. Okay. I don't know your email. This I saw online. I don't know your email, but I was at the Miami Siyum with my 10-year-old son. I heard how someone, he means official, paid $1,000 for someone. Official paid a kid $1,000 who finished the Masechta. I was so inspired that I offered my 10-year-old son $2,000 if he finished this Masechta. You got it? $2,000. From the day of Miami Siyum, my 10-year-old Yosef has not missed a daf yet. It's Geschmack to the daf with the rebellion, and my 10-year-old son, Baruch Hashem. So you don't have to really pay $2,000. You don't have to pay $1,000. But listen, people spend a lot of money on therapy. What is it? $200 an hour. So 5 sessions. You give him 5 sessions, and that's it. Keep him off the streets. Let's give Valdiga stuff. Okay, was noch? Oh, some mother from her. I don't know the kid's name, but she sent this in.
Good morning, Motsei.
With the niggin. Yusach Savage. It's drawn in for the Darm. It's a game changer, especially because I'm in BMG, where Blatnitz man is what's supposed to be. You know, I'm the guy that doesn't have zisfleish or music geschmack in eon, so he chose to do the daf with the rebellion. The kids are okay. You all know Yaakov Langer from Inspiration for a Nation. He has like 115,000 subscribers. Some of his podcasts. He's the one that interviewed Nachi Gordon on The Meaningful People. So he writes like this: I can't convince my son and father-in-law to watch Inspiration for the Nation. I walk into the room and they're doing the daf with you. Even better. Okay. Shkoyach Yaakov. Yo, Lipkowitz. I've been your Talmud since my cousin from Chicago, and I missed a day or two. I listened to you on 1.5 speed while at work. You've created a sense of commitment in me and in my learning. I know no matter what happens throughout my day, I'll get in some learning. I'm eternally grateful for you. You inspire me to believe in myself. For regularly I can accomplish. Thank you for believing in me. Respectfully, Yoel. Yoel Lipkowitz, Yishkoyach. And here's from Gershon Rose. He put together 550 words which he believes that are English and Lashon Kodesh that are connected. Words from the Gemara. A fire summon, persimmon, alphabet, okeanos, ocean, Aish, ash, abracadabra, avir, ash. Avir is ear. The end of the avir, ear. Oreg, rug. Bekitzer, today, I just noticed today, we're going to talk about Asham. Very interesting. Asham is from the Lashon, he says, shame. Asham, ashamed. Or shame. Gewaldige stuff. So if you want to see his list, contact Gershon Rose. My name is Douglas Leader. I work for a Maspik in Borough Park. I'm an aide for the elderly HHA. I've been learning Daf since 2020. Sometimes I watch the Daf while assisting my clients. We also watch Torah anytime. Best regards, Douglas Leader with Rabbi Heshi Klein. Today, let's change it up a little bit. We'll do the Parnas HaYoms first. Joel Friedman, Leilu Nishmas, my dear father, Chaim Avram Shalom Yeruchim Ben Yisrael David Alav Shalom yahrzeits today. The second Parnas HaYom, Andra and Craig Goldman, in honor of the West Orange Siyum Nedarim, with shout out to Felderman and Weiss families. By Jeff Rasner, Leilu Nishmas Bini, Yosef Simcha Chaim, Yisroi was his Bar Mitzvah parasha, Yishkoich Fidvar Torah, I read every word. Moshe Feintuch, the Shiliama of Sarah Bas Peril, the Yad Hashem in MOS Sports Training Co., whatever that means. By Peretz Chaim and Zahav Levin, in honor of the golden dove bris of my grandson Yechiel Elio Grossman. I saw you were Sandik, no? Yeah. Where are you? Mazel tov. First time Sandik? No. Many more to come, Bezer Hashem. Mazel tov to the parents. Avir Rachel Grossman. Rachel, how do you pronounce the name? Rachel Grossman. And grandparents, Harry and Eileen. It's in English. Grossman. And great-grandparents, Yankel and Sarah Levine. Leilu Nishmas, Moiri, what are you laughing at me? It's not nice. Leilu Nishmas, Moiri Rabbi, Rav Chaim, Yisrael, Belsky, Zeichet, Tzadik, Kol Shavrocha, on a 70-yard side. He's sorely missed by his Talmud, Peretz Chaim Levin. You have a good mice about him? Something special? Say, share quickly, something in 20 seconds. Yeah? Anything to do with the daf? Birds?
Yeah, I mean, there was once
Okay, fine, next. The art is sponsored for a complete refuah shleima of Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. Huh? Oh, there will be Peretz Chaim Levin sponsoring this month's Shabbos a pizza party. There will be many, many children from the neighborhood that don't belong here. Motsei Shabbos. Yishkoyach Peretz Chaim. I do want to give a special hearty mazel tov to my sister, Menucha, who just got married the other day to Jay Quinn from Houston, Texas. You know him, right? Great guy, no? Great guy. Everybody tells me he's a great guy. The one that was an attorney. What? Yeah.
I met at the Shiur again.
You met her at the Shiur again, yeah. Yeah, I think so. Okay, mazel tov, mazel tov. Beautiful. Huh? The Masech is sponsored by Maaser. Second sponsor of the Masech, the Leilu Nishmas Chaya Bas Yosef by Anon Ymous. Parnas HaChodesh, Leilu Nishmas Zechariah ben Moshe. Parnas HaChodesh, Shprintzy and Alan Gross, Leilu Nishmas the yahrzeits of our fathers, Zalman ben Yצחק, Aייzik, Zechariah of Sarah, Birnbaum, and Benimin and Aייzik ben Hirsh, הכהן, Zechariah ben Gross. The Parnas HaChodesh, the MDY family, Leilu Nishmas, Baruch, Helfgad, Zechariah the 2-year-old, Ben ybl'c, Mordechai Shlema. Rabbi, so we did the sponsors, right? I have a shayla for the Olam. Where's Hillel? Don't say it's a machlokes. A Nazir who became Tamei, and he went through the process of Tahara. When does the new Nazirus begin? A Nazir, he was Tahar. He became Tamei, he went to Levi, he touched the corpse. he got Azah on the 3rd day, on the 7th day, went to the mikvah. When does he become a Nazir again? When does he start again? Huh? Day 8. Now check out the chart for a second. On day 7. Anybody say day 7? No. You guys said what? Day 8. Oh, day 8. At night. Day 8. In the morning. After you bring the chatos. After you bring the asham. So no matter what you have said, we have to go through the guests here. We have a bunch of guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From Yitzchak. From Brooklyn. We're in Brooklyn. Flatbush. Okay. Givaldic. What's your name, Tzadik? Next to Elio. Bardugo from Brooklyn. Also, where's Brooklyn's Flatbush? You live in Flatbush. No. Where do you live? You live in Borough Park. You also look Flatbush? Ah, okay, I didn't know.
My shuls, we have a Motsei Shabbos and Vorchim.
Motsei Shabbos and Varchim. When is that? That's not now. You wouldn't have missed that. Who else is a guest? Anybody? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. Philipson? Ronnie?
Yeah.
From Toronto, Shalom Aleichem. Okay, Gewaldic. And of course, Nachman, whatever. You guys in the back, you were here for a few days, but I didn't say Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Eli Melech? Lipan. Ah, Lupian, Lipan. From? Close. Local. All right, looking forward. And who's the gentleman next to you, the tzaddik next to you? From? Also local. So we like the white beard, it's good. It looks chasher for the shear, you know? Bunch of white. Okay. Motsei, we're holding in the middle of a sugya here, Daf Yomi Amud Aleph, 2 lines down. So a guy is sitting in a Beis HaKvaros, excuse me, sitting in a Beis HaKvaros, and he becomes a Nazir in the Beis HaKvaros. Does he have to shave his head or not? You know that if a person is a Nazir already and he becomes Tamei, he has to shave his head. That's one of the things in the process. Did I make a bracha? Yes, because you said you could answer Amen. Right. Okay. So here he is. You see, he's in the Beis HaKvaros now. Here he's shaved. Unshaved, shaved. You get the idea. If he's in the Beis HaKvaros and he's mekal himself in the zeros, does he have to shave or not? That's the shaila. Says Gemara Toshma. V'timei roish nizroi. We're going to see the pasuk soon. So the pasuk says that his hair becomes tamei. B'tar shenitma hakasem medaber. This pasuk must be talking about somebody that was tahar. He's on a scooter riding, and he bumped into a skeleton. He's already a nazir, and he becomes tamei. Shuton havar aseyar. He has to remove his hair. V'havas tziparin, and he has to bring karbanos. So you see over here in the chart, real quickly, a person was a Nazir for, let's say, 15 days. Then he touches a skull, he touches a mace, so he forfeits those 15 days. Then he starts a process of tahara. He has to get sprinkled from the mechatos, the water that has the paradum in it, on the 3rd day, on the 7th day. He shaves his head, you see the little barber thing. And then on day 8, he brings his karbanos. Okay, and then he starts all over again, 30 days of Naziros. What karbanos does he bring? He brings a keves la'asham, chat asayif, and oil asayif. He brings 2 birds and a keves. So he has to bring the tziparin. Tziparin is 2 birds, meaning his karbanos. The liftar is han-nazir bekever, and this also comes to teach us that if a person is in a Beis HaKvaros, and he accepts upon himself Nazirus, this is what we're looking for. This line right over here. She'ein ton havar aseyar. He's not required to shave his head. So Rav Ashi asked the Shaila, who was it? Mar Bar Rav Ashi? Boy Rav Ashi. Does he have to shave his head or not? And the answer is She'ein ton havar aseyar. If you're in the Beis HaKvaros, you accept upon yourself Nazirus, you don't have to shave your head. V'avas siparim, you don't have to bring karbanos. That we had already yesterday. You certainly don't have to bring carbon. The question was on the hair. It's going to be stuck to the whole shear. It's not good. Okay.
Eventually.
Now, you could think this is a gavachaymer. A guy that's taru became tamei afterwards. He has to remove all his hair. He has to bring korbanos. Misha tamei mitchila, and a guy that's sitting in a Beis HaKvaros from the first moment that he became a Nazir, and didn't she aton and certainly you should have to bring korbanos and remove his hair. Tamaloymar v'timei roish nizroi. Let's see the pasuk here. The chiyamos meis olav bepeta pitaim. A guy is a Nazir and he touches a dead body. What happens then when a person touches a dead body? What does he become? Tamei. You don't need to be a genius to know that if you touch a dead body, you become tamei. That's many psukim in the Torah. Everybody knows that. So then why does it say v'timei roish nizroi? Tosfos says all 3 words are extra. Okay? All 3 words. Tamad loymar. V'timerish nizrei, these extra words, b'misha yatar, v'nitma akasa medaber, shiyaton, avar aser, v'ava sipar. So this pasuk is coming to tell us that if a person who's a regular Nazir, minding his own business, and went to a funeral, he has to remove his hair and bring korbanos. V'liftas hanazir b'kever shmamina. So you ask me a question. If a guy is in the basic kavaris and accepts it upon himself, Nazirus, does he have to shave his head? The answer is yes. We have a Furish pasuk here. Man tana hadatar rabbanon ein bein tamei shenazir lenazir tar shenitma. This we had at least 3 times yesterday. And here it is today once again. What is the difference between a guy sitting in a kfaris and accepts upon himself Naziros and a guy that's already a Nazir, riding his scooter and bumps into a skeleton? What is the difference between the two? Only one difference. Whether or not the 7th day can he start his Naziros or not. In other words, a person who's tahar, he's riding his scooter, he's a Nazir and he touches a mace, he has to bring a carbon. And since he has to bring a carbon, when does he bring the carbon? On day 8. So day 7 is not part of the count. But since this guy, the top guy, the guy is sitting in a basic forest and then he decides to accept upon himself Naziros. Like I said, a good marshal is a guy sitting in Miran. He's by Rishim, by Chai, he's all inspired by all the Nazirim running around there. He says, I also want to be a Nazir, but he's in the Tumah, he's in the basic forest. He does not bring korbanos. That we said, if 100% he doesn't bring korbanos, we even just established he doesn't even shave his head. So he could count day 7, because now he's going to go out of the basic kvaras and he's going to start doing a tahara. He's going to go do a hazah and go to the mikvah and everything else. He could count day 7 as his first day of Naziros. Asked Taisus yesterday, how could he do it? He's not 100% tar until nightfall. The answer is, you're right. But he's in a very weakened state of Tumah, and that's enough to start Naziris. You can start Naziris on that. Okay. So again, who's the Manda Omar? We started off Shiur saying, when does Nazir start? It could start on day 7, day 8 in the morning, day 8 at night, after the Chatos, after the Hashem. So this Manda Omar that says you could count day 7, it doesn't count for the minyan. Now, since you're saying the word minyan and we're in Masechtas Nazir, I have to say the famous Maaser, and you could correct me, Nachman. I was thinking about you, because I don't know if I have all the details 100%. But there was a guy that went to Zikr at 2 in the morning, and he walks in, and there's like 3 guys from Ma'ariv, and he's very makbid on a minyan. So he didn't know what to do, so he called 7 taxis, the famous Maaser 7 taxis. Now, who's the famous guy? I forget his name. He's a chassid that wherever he goes, he brings a minyan with him, including the safari. He does 5-star, 6-star safaris, private jets, everything, but he always brings people with him. I know a few people that went with him. What? Laser Shiner. Yeah, Laser Shiner. Wherever, any place he goes, he brings him in with him, no matter how much it costs. I'm just hoping one day he'll bring me. I'm going to shout out. I like safaris. I like the Masimara. That's the next one we're going to, no? Masimara, okay. For my 60th birthday? Serengeti, the same thing. Masimara, Serengeti. You're right. Gary, we're all going. 51st birthday. My birthday's in November. We'll start in when? In May. We'll start now. You guys also need to be mitzaref to the minyan. Shiners, it's on Shiner. What? Whoever's in the first year, mishtatif, whoever bought me that ticket could come in the next year. You didn't want to be mishtatif, you're a loss. You're my mother. I mean, you're my brother from another mother, not my mother. But you don't get to come. Zayt weiter. Okay. No, just triggered the minyan thing. Omar Rav Chisda Rebbe. Over here it doesn't mean minyan, of course. It means the count, but okay. Huh? Yeah, why not? Omar Rav Chisda Rebbe. It's who's the man, the Omar, that says that the 7 days is good for, you could start counting the zeros for the guy that's in the Visikvaris, but not for the guy that becomes Tahar. It's Rebbe. Why? The Omar Rebbe, Ein Nazirus Tahara Chola Elo Ad Shmini. Rebbe holds that when a person is Tahar and he becomes Tameh and he goes through the whole process of Tahara, he cannot start his Nazirus until the 8th day. So here's the chart. We have a machlokes, Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi. When can he start his Nazirus? So over here you see, according to Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Yehuda, he could start his Nazirus on the 7th day. That's not what the Gemara says here. Because if he's tar, he could only start on the 8th day. So it must be Rabbi. Rabbi says he starts his Nazirus on the 8th day. The Tema, Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Yehuda, because if he says he holds, yes, you have to bring a car. Everybody agrees. When do you bring the carbon? On the 8th day. But when can you count a day of Nazirus, a first full tahar day of Nazirus? I could start that on the 7th day. The fact that I bring my carbon on the 8th day has nothing to do with the tahara, says Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Yehuda. My Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Yehuda, what's the machlokes here? The Sanya. V'kidash es roishoi bayoim ahu. When does he start being mekadosh here? You see that's what Rav Turgeman said. He said that there's only 2 things in the Torah that the Torah calls him a kaddish. One of them is a Nazir. He becomes a kaddish l'Hashem. He's mekadosh here on that day. What's that day? V'kidash es roishoi. What's bayoim ahu that day? Biyoim havas karbonoisav divi Rebbe. Rebbe says it only begins on the 8th day when you start bringing your karbonos. Now, Rebbe will agree, Bayoim Mahu means even before you bring the karbonos. It's the day that you bring the karbonos, the 8th day, not necessarily dependent on the karbonos, but it's the day of the karbonos. Even before you bring the carbon. Divi Rebbe. When do you shave? You shave on day 7. So day 7, right after the shaving, then you could start counting again your Nazirus all over again. Now, says the Gemara, a Nazir who became Tomei a bunch of times, right? If a guy touches a sheretz, he goes to Levaya, and he has to go to the mikvah to become tar. And then he goes to another levaya. And then he goes to another levaya. He goes to 25 levayas. How many times does he have to go to the mikvah? You go just one time to the mikvah when you're done. A Nazir who touches a dead person, and then touches another dead person, and another dead person, how many times does he have to bring a carbon? Just one time, at the end. So what's the Gemara telling me over here? At the end, you bring one carbon. Okay, yishkoyach. Of course, you bring one carbon. A bunch of times you become Tommy, he keeps on touching. At the end, whenever he's done touching dead people, he'll bring a carbon. But no, it's telling us a chiddush here. There's a situation where I would think that he has to bring more than one carbon, and he doesn't bring more than one carbon. What's the situation? It has to be a mechudesh dika thing, a special chiddush. I would think he doesn't, he does, and he doesn't. What is it? And if he does have to bring 2 karbanos, why does he have to bring 2 karbanos? Mantana. Omar Avchizda Rabbi Yosi Rabbi Yehuda the Omar Nazirus Tahara Mishvi Chayla. You see, there's an in-between period. There's the day, the 7th day. Let's see if I have it over here. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this chart over here, I chopped it down a little bit. There's day 7 where he starts his Nazirus, and day 8 where he brings his carbon. So if a person, take a look at the chart for a second, became Tameh right over there, right in between 7 and 8. He started his Nazirus, he's already tar for Nazirus, but he didn't bring his carbon yet. Then he touched another body, but because he didn't bring his carbon, so let me delay his carbon and just be yahrzeits of both of them. So this is a big chiddush. Why is it a big chiddush? Because he already started his 2nd term of Nazirus. And the carbon that belongs for the 1st term of Nazirus is going to work also for the 2nd Nazirus. That's beautiful. That's a nice chiddush. According to Rebbe, though, he only starts his Nazirus on day 8. So then it's like becoming Tameh on day 1, 2, 3. Of course, 1 carbon is going to be good enough. I don't need a chiddush for that. I don't need to tell. I'm saying, even though his Nazirus started, his 2nd term started, I could still use the carbon that he designated for his 1st term, also for the 2nd term. Why? Because I didn't bring the carbon yet. I wasn't obligated to bring the carbon yet. That's the chiddush here. Once you're obligated to bring the carbon, I can't use that carbon for another tumah. But over here, the obligation for the carbon didn't start yet. It didn't happen. That only happens on day 8. Here's Rebbe. His Nazirus only starts on day 8. So the fact that I touched another body before day 8, it's like touching 100 bodies before I go to the mikvah, before I do something. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's see. And here's a great case. He keeps on becoming tamei on the 7th day. Once the Naziros, another term starts. After that term began, he touched another tuma. Kiven the layatza shah ruya carbon, and the vart is because he never was obligated to bring the carbon yet, because the carbon only comes a day later. This is a beautiful chiddush. Why is this here? There's a beautiful chiddush that one carbon is enough for all my tumas. The itay merebi because it's literally tumas harbe. It's new tumas, new terms. I keep on ruining another Nazir's term. I'm starting a new Nazir's term number 2 on day 7. I touch a dead body. It's over. Now I wait 7 days. I start my new term 3 on day 7, and then I touch another body. I wait 7 days, go to the kahyan, and he does the whole sprinkle. Day 7, I say, I'm going to be able to start my Nazirus again, and then I touch another. After all this, playing around and going to Levias, I bring one carbon at the end. Okay. It can't be Rebbe, it's only Rebbe Yosef. The nitma bashvi, the chazar, the nitma bashvi, kula tuma arichtehi. It's one tuma. It's like going to 5 funerals in one day. It doesn't matter that you did it on the 7th day. Nothing happened on the 7th day, according to Rebbe. The Nazirus only begins on day 8, like you see over here. And now, that's what I showed here. That if the tumah happened after day 8 or on day 8, then it's too late to use the carbon that you're supposed to bring that day, because you're already obligated to bring a carbon. Once you're obligated to bring a carbon and you become tummy after that point, now you have to bring a new carbon for that tumah. My time at the Rebbe. Omakro v'chiper olav masher chota ala nefesh v'hodar v'kidesh es roishoy. So first, when does Nazirus begin, says Rebbe? It says in the pasuk. Look at the pasuk. V'chiper olav masher chota ala nefesh. Bring the karbanos. Once you bring the karbanos on day 8, then v'kidesh es roishoy. Then I could start growing my hair as a Nazir b'kedusha. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda. What does Rabbi Yosef Yehuda say? It says Mefurish in the pasuk. Huh?
How do you know you can do that before the korbanos?
Okay, we'll see in a second. Here. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda. Imkein lemakra v'kidesh es roishoy bayoy mahu lamali. Why do I need the words bayoy mahu? So the words bayoy mahu are extra, and this we go through the whole entire Amud, and the Rishonim talk about it, different things all the way to the end. How Chacham learn bayoy mahu, but I'll call upon him bayoy mahu lamali. So this we have a concept in all of Shas, that if you have a halacha that's not necessary in this place, I have nothing to do with this halacha, so I could use it somewhere else. So says Rabbi Yisrael, I have nothing to do with it on the 8th day. So I have to use it on the 7th day to teach me a special chiddush that the Nazirus begins on the 7th day. Rabbi Nami Yoksiv Bayoy Mahu. No, what about Rebbe? What is he going to do with the Bayoy Mahu and it's extra? That's exactly the chiddush of Bayoy Mahu. You could bring it's beautiful. Your Nazirus starts on that day Bayoy Mahu. Bayoy Mahu. I didn't bring my karbanos. It doesn't matter. Bayoy Mahu, that day, nothing to do with karbanos. The turning of the Daf is sponsored L'chvoy, the Shis Nama Torah, Yerushalayim, Rav David Amin Shlita, who always encourages us to finish Shas. And La'atzlacha for the Magid Shiur, the members of the HBA group and their families. Amen. Rav Chizda, my duchye lu'ukme Kirb Yosef Rabbi Yehuda, Lukma kegoin the nitma, the chazia belel shmini v'rebihi. Oh, so just take a look at this chart for a second, because it's a beautiful chart. I just chopped it down before, that according to Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, here you have two terms of Nazirus that start on the seventh day, and you bring one carbon all the way at the end of those two terms. And over here I just show why Bayom Hahu is extra, because in Pasuk Yud it says Uvayoyim Hashmini. So I already know we're talking about the 8th day. So what's Bayom Hahu? We're in the 8th day. The Psukim are talking about in the 8th day. What's Bayom Hahu? Bayom Hahu is extra. What's this? So over here, take a look at this for a second. Over here you have the 8th day. The 8th day is divided between night and day. I was worried about you. Yoshi did this one. Okay, actually I put the things on the side. This Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Tuesday night is when, it could be Monday, it could be Tuesday, it could be Wednesday, whatever. So Tuesday night, it's divided into two things. There's a night and a day. Tuesday night, the Nazirus begins. In the morning, that's when you bring your carbon, but it's all part of the same day. Tuesday night and Wednesday morning is the same day, right? Ask the Gemara, maybe Rebbe, you hear what's going on here? Maybe Rebbe says the Nazirus begins Tuesday night. A kid has a Bar Mitzvah on Tuesday night. Yeah? When's your Bar Mitzvah? What day? What? Sunday night. So it's really Monday, right? So, because Monday's going to be Bar Mitzvah already. So, but the day, Monday begins on Sunday, right? We light a Hanukkah candle at night and it goes into the day. So, Tuesday night is the beginning of Wednesday morning. So, as the Gemara, maybe according to Rebbe, he began as Nazirus on Tuesday night. And he could only bring the carbon the following morning. So, it could go according to Rebbe also. Here's a situation where a person began as Nazirus, he became Tameh that night also, and the carbon will go on all the times that he became Tameh, different terms. His term began at night, not during the day. Says the Gemara, V'Rebbehi, my duch, you're looking at the Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, who told you to say that the sugi goes according to Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, looking at the Chazi B'Leil Shmini, maybe he started his term at night, V'Rebbehi. Says the Gemara, just halt cup here for a second, and if you don't get it, it's also good. What?
So Yosef would be right before Shkia, so to speak, and then Rebbe would be right after, and that would be during the Machlokes.
Okay, yeah, fine. We're not going to the Machlokes. We could just say that it goes according to Rebbe. I hear what you're saying. You're doing it beginning in the night, according to Rebbe, the term starts, but it doesn't bring his carbon until the following day. Now, Rabbi say, the fact that you don't bring the carbon the following day, you bring a carbon the following day, maybe it's not true. Maybe you could bring your carbon at night. Can't bring a carbon at night. But maybe you have to bring the carbon at night. Maybe the term of Nazir starts the night before, and so too your chiv to bring the carbon starts the night before. Just it happens to be that something is just closed for business at night. So you bring it the next day. You're supposed to bring your carbon on the 8th day, and the beginning of the 8th day. That's what the Gemara says over here. The Gemara says, it's a very, very simple concept, that the night is not missing anything. In other words, you should bring your carbon at night. Your chiyuv to bring the carbon is at night. You have a technical problem why you can't bring it. The technical problem is that we're not going to be makriv your carbon at night. But when is your chiyuv? You hear, Donnie? Beautiful. When do you have to bring the carbon? When is it? When are you obligated to bring it? On the 8th day. When does the 8th day start? After Shkia. After Tzeizik Chavim. That's when you had to bring it. So bring it. I can't bring it because basically just locked me out. Okay, so it's a technical problem. But when were you obligated at night? And that's why it can't go according to Rebbe. Because you're asking me, there's there's 3 terms of Tumah. On the 8th day, the beginning of the 8th day, he started his Nazirs and he touched the corpse, and only the following morning he's chayiv to bring a carbon. So let him bring 1 carbon on all the times he became Tameh. Well, no, it's not true. He has to bring his carbon, not the following morning. At night, when his Nazir started, that's when he has to bring his carbon. So it's already too late. If he becomes Tameh, then he has to bring a 2nd carbon. Because Laila Lav Mechus is Manu. You see that Rebbe holds Laila Lav Mechus is Man.
The fact that he doesn't say that.
From the fact that we don't bring Rebbe, we say that it goes according to Rebbe Yehuda and not Rebbe. You see that Rebbe holds Laila Lav Mechus is Manu. I just want to say that somebody once wrote a letter to Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he said, I don't have any time to learn. I don't have time for Kfiyas Eden. So he said, learn at night. So the Chassid wrote back, how did the Rebbe know that I have time at night? So he says, because Laila Lav Mechus Manu. It's a Maaser Shaya. Hoyel, and I said a story about the Lubavitcher Rebbe, I could finally say the story I wanted to say about Rav Shach without insulting all the Lubavitchers. I was worried to say it. It's an interesting story, but I think there's something to be learned from it. You could argue with the story. I had a little bit of a problem with the story, but I think there's every time we were learning the sugya of shaving and a beard, there was a guy that came to Rav Shach, and Rav Shach noticed that he was growing a beard. He said, in Panovich, a lot of guys, they shave. The Lubavitchers are going to hate the story, but I'm asking the Lubavitchers to take the good out of the story. So Rav Shach looked at him and said, what's going on? Why are you growing a beard? He says, I got a chizuk. So Rav Shach told him, if you get a chizuk, do something positive. Growing a beard doesn't take any effort at all. It's just not doing. It's not shaving. For me, it's much harder. I have to shave. It's a lot of work. What was he saying? He said, you get a chizuk, so do something. Go learn another daf Gemara. To be a big tzaddik and grow payas, that's not tzidkis. Now, there are some people, I was thinking about that, people that it gives them chizuk. They have payas, they have beard, it gives them a certain chizuk. Okay, fine. What I'm trying to say is, take action. To grow a beard, that doesn't make you a better person or a bigger person. Okay. But Lubavitchers are going to say, no, what do you mean?
The fact that you have a beard means you can't go to a lot of places. People look
at you. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's a big difference between not having a beard.
It could, no, 100%. If it gives you a certain, if that's the nekuda, but sometimes people think, I'm going to wear this and that. I'm going to wear a black hat. Now it doesn't work like that. You have to take what? Who? Yeah, what was the story? Oh, now you have a story. No. Let's go weiter. Here, we'll tell you the story later. Motsei Shabbos. We have 5 minutes. We got to finish Talmud. Says the Gemara, not a raya that Rebbe holds that Laila Mechus is Man. I know it's a little tricky here, but we're going to get over in a second. Omer Rabbi Barahava, Haba Hatalia. Not true. The vart that Rebbe, the reason why it doesn't go like Rebbe, not because Rebbe holds Laila Mechus Manu, but because Yamers Laila Mechus Man, Emas Mechzel Karban, Litzafra. Nazirus Nami Loichai Litzafra. Basically, the Gemara is saying is that according to Rebbe, no matter when it starts, when your Nazir starts, then that's when you're Chayav a Karban. If your Nazir starts at night, then you bring a carbon at night. If your Nazir starts in the morning, you bring the carbon in the morning. They're haba hatalia. They're connected, not because of Laila Mechus Man or Yes Mechus Man. Nazir is nami lechal atzafra. V'yamers Leila ena Mechus Man. Nazir is tara chayil me'urta. Fine. Says the Gemara, Gufa. Now the Bach takes out the Gufa. There's a Taisus here. It's kedai to see the Taisus just for a second. Like where the Gemara finishes, on the bottom, there's a Taisus next to it called Isvarm de Garsebe Gufa Nidmer Shvi. V'lai Garsinan. I don't like that, says Taisus, this word Gufa. Why? The B'kol Talmud de Garsin Gufa Eleg Talmud Hevi Memro Bryce Tchila. You saw it, right? And we know this. When the Gemara says Gufa, it means we just brought a Brysa. Let's delve into this Brysa. Gufa. You didn't bring a Brysa now. What did you bring? You said a saying, and then you're going to go into your saying and call it Gufa. That's not true. You only say the word Gufa when there's a Brysa in a Mishnah. I think everybody knows that. So basically, once again, there's a raya, like the Rishonim say, that Loshen Nazir Mishuna. It's interesting here. And in fact, the Bach is Goyer's Turner Abana. Fine. Nitma b'shvi v'chazav nitma b'shvi. If a person, a Nazir, became Tamei on the 7th day, and then he became Tamei again on the 7th day, and it may be a carbon echad. He brings one carbon all the way at the end. Nitma b'shmini v'chazav nitma b'shmini. But once it's time to bring the karbanas on the 8th day, and he became Tamei on that day, maybe carbon akol echad echad. It's too late to bring one carbon. Now you're already in another term. You're done completely. You shaved. You brought the karbanas. You became Tamei afterwards. Too late. So what if you didn't bring the carbon? It's already too late. It's already the 8th day. Matchilu moine miyad, but you start counting your 7 days immediately. Divrei Rebbe Eliezer, the guy takes out Eliezer and his Rebbe. Because Tais points out that according to Rebbe Eliezer, you need 2 days. He asks a question. You need, according to Rebbe Eliezer, remember you can't undo days unless you have 2, so it must be the 7th. Okay. Oh, finally, if you remember all the Megin Shir, here's another shita. When does the Nazir's Chal, second from the bottom, once he brings his chatos, then he can start counting. And once you bring the chatos, now you have 3 korbanos. You have a oil of chatos and asham. He only brought the chatos. V'nitma, and then he became tamei. Vevi chatasoi v'nitma. Maybe korban kol echad ve'echad. Each time you bring your korban chatos, begins a new term. That's when the term begins, according to Chachamim. So we have a new shita. Shita number 4. Hey v'chatasa v'levi ashamai moina. You don't need to bring the korban asham. The asham is the sheep. You don't need to bring a sheep. You need to bring the chatas ha'oif. You bring a dove. That's a chatas. Once you bring that, that's it. Your count begins all over. Your Shmuel benoi, Shebechim and Broikoimer, and this is the final shita on the bottom. Keshem shechatasi kaftoi, kein hashomi makvoi. There's no difference between the bird chatos and the. Let's see if we have that. Here we go. These are your 3 karbanas. So he says, Rabbi Shmuel says, what's the difference? If you have to bring the chatas oif, and that's where it begins, you also have to bring the asham. What's the difference? They're all. Now, you could make a chiluk in oila soif. What's the nafkamina, Rabbi? So what's the difference between an oila and a chatas and a asham? Oh? You hear what the kid says? Jacob's. Simon Jacob's grandson. He says, oila is Lashem. It's not so much for your kapara. So maybe when you do a kapara, then starts your new term. But I don't have to bring my gift to Hashem. Okay, the Gemara is going to say that svar soon. You start the 7 that day. Even though it says that day, it has to do with the day, not with the carbon. Take a look at this, just real quickly. First, he brings the chatos. And what does the pasuk say afterwards? Now he starts growing his hair and he becomes a Nazir. In pasuk Yud Beis it says le'asham. So if chatos and asham, top and bottom, sandwich. In the middle you have a kiddush's roishoy. Say chachamim, look at this. The pasuk is telling us the order. The main thing is that comes a chatos. If I brought a chatos, then I could start growing my hair. I become a Nazir. The asham is in pasuk Yud Beis. It's a different thing. It's not ma'akiv. Yeah, it's beautiful. Rabbanahu av b'shlei v'ashamai. That's what the Ahu comes to tell us. You don't need the asham. El Rabbi Shmuel Ahu lamali. Rabbi Shmuel says, I need everything. I need the chatz. I need the asham. So what does he do with the word Ahu? Oh malach Ahu av b'shlei v'lasoi. You don't need the oila. Oila is not important. Rabbanan oila le'boy miyuta. Dorim ba'almahu. I don't need a special pasuk. Oila is not part of the kapara. Oila is nothing to do with the process. You bring oila as a gift to Hashem. Now, stop as an akuda. Think about it. Oila l'Hashem, meaning I get nothing out of it. I can't eat any of the meat. I'm giving Hashem a gift. One of the worst gifts I ever gave my wife was a very, very expensive camera. Because I like cameras, I'm into photography, she doesn't. So I bought her a camera. She chapped right away as soon as she said, you're going to use it, not me. It's like buying your 98-year-old grandmother an electric scooter, thinking you're going to get it back in a few months or something. Whatever. It's not a very good gift. But however, if a person, seriously, Rabbi, if a person comes home at 2:00 in the morning, like we just got a bunch of these emails, literally, from Berkowitz, from Imagine, all these guys, Yossi Klein just told me, came home, 4 a.m, you're about to go to sleep, Oive, I didn't do the daf. There's no bigger, I think, it's literally like a gift to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have nothing out of it, zero. You have no cheshik to learn, nothing, and you sit down and you do it, Darin Lashem. It's mamish like a matanet Hashem. You don't have anything from it. The Sanya. We could do this. Let's finish it up. Vehizir Lashem is Yimei Nizr vehevi keves ben shnasi laHashem. Matamad loymar. Vehizir Lashem is Yimei Nizroi, and after he becomes a Nazir vehevi keves ben shnasi laHashem. Matamad loymar. Lefishim atzinu shekol Hashem shebat Torah shema'akvim. Everywhere in the Torah, you have to first bring the Hashem, and then you can continue on. Yochel avzeh ma'akva. I would think that by the Nazir, in order for him to start his new term, he has to bring his Hashem. First he's a Nazir, then he brings the Hashem. Worry about the Hashem later. That the term begins before him. He became a Nazir. When does he become a Nazir? The dependent fakert. You have to bring your carbon, then only afterwards you have a Naziros. Rabbis, have a wonderful day. Have a great Shabbos. Motsei Shabbos, what time? When was the last time?
Last time you were away.
We got to maybe do 8:30, Rabbi say. Maybe 8:30. I have to check it out.